Om Jnanatimirandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we see Maitreya Rishi is describing about the genealogical table of daughters of Manu, and he was describing about the daughters of Devahuti, 9 daughters of Devahuti, who were handed over to 9 great rishis. So one of the name of the daughter was Anasuya. So this daughter of Devahuti and Kardama Muni, Anasuya, she was married to Atri Rishi, and their children are being described here. So these 3 children of Anasuya and Atri Rishi, they are very famous. 3 they are called, and they are called as Soma, Dattatreya, and Durvasa. So it is described that these 3 are the partial representations of Amsha, Brahma, and Atma, Isha, and Brahma. So Dattatreya is the partial representation of Atma or Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu. Atma also means the soul of everything. Here in this context, Atma means not this individual Atma, but Atma of this whole existence, or the Paramatma, the Supreme Lord. Soma is the partial representation of Brahma, and Durvasa is the partial representation of Isha or Lord Shiva. So what is very important here is that even though there are 3 principal deities in this material world who take care of the different functions of this material world, material manifestation, but there is a gradation of power bestowed in them. Generally, people think God means they define generator, and what is that? Operator and destroyer. So they think that this constitutes God. Isn't it? That is their general understanding about what is God. No doubt, there are 3 functions in this material existence. That is Shrishti, Sthiti, and Pralaya. But the directors of these 3 different departments of creation, maintenance, and annihilation are bestowed with different gradations of power. For example, of all living entities, Brahma is considered to be very powerful. But more powerful than Lord Brahma is Lord Shiva. That is why he is called Mahesha, Mahaisha, or Mahadeva. He is the Deva of Dev, he is the controller of controllers. And more powerful than Lord Shiva is Lord Vishnu. And these three principal deities of this material manifestation, Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh, they have their origin in Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So more powerful than all of them is Garbhodakshai Vishnu, whose partial representation is Shirodakshai Vishnu, who takes care of maintenance of this material world. So how it happens is very nicely described in Srimad Bhagavatam. How these different deities, they become manifest. So originally, it is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Govinda, Krishna, who exists in his spiritual abode, Goloka Vrindavan. So when the Lord wants to create, in order to satisfy the desires of the living entities, then the Lord, one of his expansions is Mahavishnu, called as Karano Dakshai Vishnu. Of course, before even Mahavishnu, there is Chaturvyuha. But in relation with the material world, Mahavishnu is the first Purusha who is related to this material world. So Mahavishnu, as one of the Purusha, he lies down in the spiritual world in Karana Sagar. So that Karana Sagar is the ocean which is actually the cause of this material existence. That is why it is called as Karana. It is the causal ocean. So there, Mahavishnu lies down. From the breathing of Mahavishnu, innumerable universes come out. The Lord, as Mahavishnu, glances at Mahatattva before it differentiates into these varieties of material manifestation as universes, etc. Before that, the Lord glances at his material energy. This material energy exists in two forms, Pradhana and Prakriti. When it becomes manifest, it is called Prakriti. When it is still in dormant condition, it is called Pradhana. Now, when we see everything is functioning automatically, it is called Prakriti. the sun is rising, the seasons are changing. Everything we find, so many things are happening in this material world as if happening automatically, naturally. So this is the manifestation of material energy in the form of Prakriti. Before that, it exists as Pradhan, dormant, lifeless, no life in it. No activity, no differentiation. That is called as Pradhan. So generally we find different kinds of people who study this material world and come to different conclusions. So some of them, they come to the conclusion that above everything is this material nature. Above all these things, different manifestation is the material nature. But actually, they cannot understand that in its present form, Prakriti is working automatically. But Bhagavad Gita explains that Prakriti is working automatically because of Maya adhyakshena Prakriti suyate sacharacharam. And that adhyakshata of the Lord is very simple. He just glances at Mahatattva, the original material, which is the original unmanifested, undifferentiated material energy of the Lord. So when the Lord glances at Mahatattva, his material energy, then there is differentiation in material energy. There are three modes of material nature which becomes manifest. So there are gradations you can see of who does what function. So originally, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his Purusha Avatara, Mahavishnu, he is the one who makes this creation happen from the beginning. You see, just like the example is given, you press one button and then there is subsequent, you will find the whole, we call it as automated. Some industries, they are called as fully automated. It's like even in washing machine, you will find there is semi-automatic, manual machine and fully automatic machine. Right? You will find that. So there is manual machine wherein you have to manually put cloth, you have to manually put water, you have to load manually water, you have to manually take out and then dry that. Then there is something called semi-automatic. Some functions it will do, some functions you will have to do. Then there is fully automatic. Just put the cloth, it will come dried. You just have to hang them. But then somebody is there to put that button. Somebody has to push that button. So that pushing of the first button is done by Mahavishnu. Material nature begins at that point, starts manifesting at that point, when the Lord glances at Mahatattva. So differentiation starts in that, and that is how we find three modes of material nature become active at that time. Before that, the three modes of material nature are undifferentiated. You cannot make out difference. What is Sattva Guna, what is Tamo Guna, what is Rajo Guna? There is no differentiation. It is undifferentiated. It is after the Lord glances, it becomes completely segregated. Then, It is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Mahavishnu, who creates the original Brahmandas from him. So, all the material universes comes out from the pores of Mahavishnu and from the breathing of Mahavishnu. These material universes are the places which are required for the living entities to come and reside in this material world. We have heard about that famous shloka, Brahmande Brahmite. From one universe we rotate to different universes and we keep rotating in this material existence. Brahmande Brahmite. So these Brahmandas are created by Mahavishnu. Then further work is of other Purusha avatars. Further work is of other Purusha avatars. Once the universes are created, the Lord as Mahavishnu further expands himself as Garbhodakshai Vishnu to enter into each and every single universe. Every single universe becomes animated only because of entrance. The Lord enters every universe as Garbhodakshai Vishnu. And the Lord occupies a space in that universe, in Garbhodaka ocean. So practically most of the part of the universe is filled with water as Garbhodaka ocean. There, once again, the Lord lies down as Garbhodakshai Vishnu, and from his navel there is lotus flower on which Brahma is born. And from Brahma, Lord Shiva is born. So we can see that there is gradation in power, isn't it? This Garbhodakshai Vishnu further creates all other different facilities required for living entity to exist in this universe, in this particular universe. The Supreme Lord as Garbhodakshai Vishnu expands as Purusha, Hiranyamaya Purusha, or the universal form. And in that universal form, the different planetary systems and higher planetary system, lower planetary system, middle planetary system, all these comes into existence. You see. Later on, Brahma creates the different kinds of bodies of the living entities because now the three modes of material nature have become manifested. The three modes of material nature requires now direction to mix together to create further creation. All these different existence, what we are seeing, the varieties are existing because of these three modes in different combinations and permutations. We will see this in second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, how the demigods come into existence, how the mind comes into existence, how intelligence, how the Panchabhutas, all these things come into existence by Vikrunvad, by manifestation of change in these three modes. So, goodness, when that is affected, what takes place, what manifests from the mode of goodness, what manifests from the mode of tamoguna, what manifests from the mode of rajoguna, all these things we find become manifested. So in the beginning of creation, it is said that Rajoguna is very prominent when creation starts. Rajoguna is very prominent because for creation, Rajoguna is required. So if you are in Sattva-guna, it is very difficult to create, isn't it? You require a lot of energy, you require a lot of passion to create. So that is how we find Brahmaji is given as the director. He is given the in charge of directing modes of Rajoguna in order to create. After that, once creation has happened, maintenance is required. Now, maintenance is very difficult task. We find generally it's very easy to produce children, but not very easy to maintain them, isn't it? So maintenance is a Herculean task because so many living entities have to be maintained. And we understand from the Vedic literature, from the Upanishad, it is said, Eko va bahudati vidadhati kaman, that one Supreme Personality of Godhead, He takes care of complete maintenance of each and every single living entities, whether it is a small ant and up to the big creatures, devatas, asuras. All these varieties of living entities are maintained by Lord Vishnu. So that Vishnu, so we say Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, right? So we should understand which Vishnu is that. That is Kshirodakshai Vishnu. One who takes care of maintenance after creation is done is Kshirodakshai Vishnu, and he further expands as Paramatma in the heart of every living entity and in every atom to direct the activities and also to observe and witness the activities of the living entities. So the difference here we find is Brahma is a living entity empowered by the Supreme Lord. Brahma is Vibhinna Amsha. There are two major categories. One is, all of them are Amshas, no doubt about it. Vibhinna Amsha is also Amsha. And that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Mame Vamsho Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. But there is a difference. There is a gradation even in Amsha. One is called Swamsha, another is called Vibhinna Amsha. So Brahmaji falls in the category of Vibhinna Amsha. Then Lord Vishnu, who maintains, Kshirodakshai Vishnu, who maintains this whole universe, he is Swa Amsha. He is not Vibhinna Amsha. It is the Supreme Lord who personally expands and who takes care of the maintenance of this material universe. And then Lord Shiva, who destroys this creation, he is in between. He is neither Swamsha, he is neither Vibhinna Amsha. He is in between. So, Brahma is an ordinary living entity. More powerful than him, Brahma is Lord Shiva, who is one of the transformations, special transformation, Vishesha of the Supreme Lord. And the example is given It is for a particular purpose of destroying this material existence. Dadhi yatha vikara vishesha yogat. It is just like Shiram, the milk becomes transformed into yogurt when it comes in touch with something sour. So similarly, the Supreme Lord, when He comes in touch with material nature, in this form, He comes in touch with material nature, it becomes transformed into Lord Shiva. Of course, Lord Shiva, He is transcendental. There is no doubt about it. But in this form, He comes in touch with material nature, and that is where the transformation happens, and He takes the form of Lord Shiva. So, it is a special transformation of the Lord. That is the difference. So, overall we find that there is a gradation. Brahma, Shiva and Lord Vishnu. Above all of them is Garbhodakshai, Vishnu. So here in the purport, Prabhupada is explaining that it's explaining about Krishna has 64 qualities. This is explained by Srila Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Okay, so I'll read from here. This is very interesting. The consciousness of the Lord is also in the part and parcel, and according to the proportion to which that consciousness is cleared of material dirt, the living entities are differently situated. So even in the material world, Brahma is considered to be very powerful. Our consciousness has not become cleared up to the point that we can come even to the level of Brahma. So the example is given, different bulbs of different capacities, isn't it? So some may be of capacity of 20 watt, some bulb may be of capacity of 100 watt, isn't it? All these are different bulbs of different capacities. So depending upon the proportion of our clearance of our consciousness from influence of three guna, different capacities we can exhibit. And the highest capacity we can exhibit, Prabhupada says, is, I think it is 78%, right? 70? Yes, 78% is what we can exhibit. So I'll just read that. Vishnu Tattva has 94%. So Vishnu Tattva can exhibit not 100%. 100% is Lord Krishna himself. So Rupa Goswami has analyzed the Supreme Lord has 4 very exclusive qualities which are not present even in Lord Vishnu. So Vishnu Tattva can have 94%. Shiva Tattva has 84%. Lord Brahma has 78%. And the living entities are also like Brahma, but in conditional state, their power is still more dim. So we can see that. So we can maximum exhibit up to the point of Lord Brahma, who exhibits 78% qualities of the Supreme Lord. So here we can see very clearly there is gradation in power in the Supreme, different manifestations of the Supreme Lord. There is different power bestowed. So all these tattvas are very nicely explained in Srimad Bhagavatam, that even though the absolute truth is one without fail, There is no doubt about it. There is only one absolute truth. But that absolute truth has varieties, is what we have to understand. Absolute truth is not without variety. And the final understanding of the absolute truth is that he is a personality. So, Srimad Bhagavatam very clearly explains, Brahmeti Paramatmeti Bhagavaniti Shabdyate. There is a gradation of realization also. We can realize that absolute truth in the level of either Brahman, later as Paramatma, and finally as Bhagavan. So we'll stop with this. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki